Midtown Crossing is getting some attention for the new movie theater's grand opening. Good afternoon, I'm Justin Keys.
And I'm Charlotte Riley. Next up, Joe Biden dropped by UNO's campus and he wound up giving a cryptic message whether or not he will run in the 2020 Democratic presidential nominee race.
All this and more on the Omaha News.
From the studios of UNO Television, this is the Omaha News, presented by UNO School of Communication.
UNO students lined up 2 hours in advance at the Strauss Performing Arts Center in anticipation for the inaugural Chuck Hagel Forum in Global Leadership with special guest Joe Biden on February 28th. Reporter DK Kellum is at our live table to tell us more.
Former Vice President Joe Biden spoke with grace and power in front of members of UNO's student body. He's the first of many guest speakers to participate for this new series that Chuck Hagel brings to the table.
And I surely hope this record-setting cold snap that collapsed the dome didn't have anything to do with you inviting a Democrat to be the first speaker.
Former Vice President Joe Biden made himself at home on campus, surprising students and media members being up to date with the UNO news. With so much animosity amongst the Republican and Democratic parties, many wondered if this forum with Biden and Hagel was a sign of unity.
Well, I think it's a throwback to a different time period when the parties worked differently. And I think that's one of the things that we want to look back at and maybe we can try to emulate again in the future.
With the main discussion being focused on leadership, the former vice president talked about the way he envisions the United States leading the world.
We need leadership that sees what's coming over the horizon and takes steps to expand and strengthen our capacity to meet those dangers. That starts with investing in more alliances, so we're better equipped to take on the existing threats we face, not treating NATO as if it's a protection racket, threatening to walk away unless the allies ante up and pay more. Let me remind you again, we lead the world not just by the example of our power, but by the power of our example. And we're not setting a very good example right now, in my view.
If Joe Biden enters the race for the Democrat primary, he'll be one of at least 14 candidates who have thrown their hats into the 2020 presidential race. This event is the first in a new series that will explore critical issues with global leaders in search of solutions to today's global challenges. Charlotte, Justin, back to you.
Thanks, DK. Virginia Grissom, the matriarch of one of the most important families in the history of the University of Nebraska Medical Center, died February 26th at an assisted living facility in Omaha. She was 99, less than 5 months short of her 100th birthday.
Grissom's husband, Robert Grissom, MD, was the first full-time chair of the UNMC Department of the Internal Medicine from 1956 to 1970, and is credited with being one of the key leaders who raised the bar and set the course for making UNMC the world-class medical center it is today. Together, the Grissoms paid it forward by making donations to their favorite programs, including the UNMC Department of Internal Medicine, the Michael F. Sorrell Center for Health Science Education, and the Interprofessional Academy of Educators, among others.
In addition to UNMC, Virginia's passions included the Girl Scouts, the Omaha Symphony, Joslyn Museum, Fontenelle Forest, and Dundee Presbyterian Church. She is survived by her 4 children, 5 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren.
A new Alamo Draft House is opening in Midtown this week. They have a full multi-course menu where every meal is prepared from scratch, specifically for you. Their menu includes a Royale with cheese pizza and a fresh from the oven, just the way you love them, warm chocolate chip cookies. Renovation to create the new theater began last May, and after almost a year, it is ready to open. Alamo Draft House is a unique theater chain because you have to be at least 18
We really do want to target like the college audience, and it's very a great opportunity to target UNO and Creighton. So we do offer like a student discount that's actually every day of the week.
The Midtown location is currently undergoing a soft opening to train staff. They are playing classic and recently popular movies like Jurassic Park and Avengers: Infinity War. The theater fully opens on Thursday, March 7th.
And coming up, we get an inside look at how Boys Town is paying it forward in a way that is both unique and traditional.
Next, we will campaigning for looks for UNO students who have been preparing for student government elections.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Spelling. Citations. All important aspects of writing, all having their own challenges. You have great ideas, but sometimes finding the right words is hard. So whether you're working on a journal, your final thesis, your resume, or just trying to get over writer's block, the Writing Center is here for you.
At the Chris Library, helping you is the priority. Here, librarians can help students find resources for the information they need. Or students can visit the Creative Production Lab, where they're able to do 3D printing and so much more. They can also buy food and drinks at the library cafe, visit the library's archive, or find a place to study on any one of the 3 floors. Chris Library, how can it help you?
I always knew I wanted to go to college.
To be the first person in my family to graduate.
Because I dream of being an elementary teacher, an environmental geologist, a soil scientist, a nurse.
Project Achieve helps me go from dream to degree. If we can do it,
so can you.
Project Achieve. From dream to degree. unomaha.edu/project-achieve.
You've always known you were a leader, someone who works hard to achieve your goals. You can see it. You can see your success in front of you. You pursue a college education for the old-fashioned reasons, to learn, to make yourself more valuable, to succeed. You need a place that celebrates your ambition and positions you alongside visionary people just like you. You, my friend, belong here, the University of Nebraska at Omaha.
This is the Omaha News.
Student government elections are right around the corner. Reporter Phil Lemon is live in Milo Bale to discuss current positions and to give more insight.
Being in student government is no easy task. It's a job that requires your full effort and commitment.
This is a very heavy position that takes a lot of time and dedication, but it's always worth it because you're doing it for others. You're doing it to serve.
Chavez gives some insight on how to be a successful politician and how to be an overall good candidate for any position.
Overhear something at the shuttle stop that could be a large issue. And that's not something students may put into our suggestion box, but when you're in the trenches listening, that's when you find the biggest issues to make change from.
As student elections are approaching, Chavez gives a piece of advice on what it takes to be on the team.
Who you are as a person, how you treat the people that you're in class with, how you treat someone you just walk by in the hall, that's your campaign. How you treat every single student is your chance to touch a life, because being in this position isn't just about the name, it's about the impact that you can make.
The student government offices are located right here in the Milo Bale Student Center, where all the big decisions are made, including who the next student body president will be and a proposed 3% budget increase for all 4 colleges in the University of Nebraska system.
It's really important that the university gets this funding in order to keep UNO moving forward and keep UNO able to give opportunities to students.
Thanks, Phil. We have an update on a story we brought to you last week. According to a press release sent via email Monday morning, the UNO indoor dome, which collapsed February 23rd, will not be repaired. The decision was made after an assessment conducted by Yidon Domes, a Minneapolis-based company. An official report with the company's recommendations was presented to UNO on Friday, March 1st. The press release also stated that no decisions have been made regarding the future of the space, and updates will be shared with campus and the Omaha community as discussions continue.
The lost art of quilting still holds significant value for certain Omaha residents. Boys Town's roots depended on women to provide them with this particular skill set. I got to take a look inside Father Flanagan's house to see the meaning behind the quilts. The historic Father Flanagan's house on Boys Town campus expects to host more visitors during the month of March. The Mothers Guild, originally organized in the 1920s by Father Flanagan's mother, will be displaying their quilts and historic background beginning on March 3rd. Father Flanagan once said there is such peace and happiness here because these wonderful women are spending themselves in the service of God, doing his humble work.
I think early on, the kids didn't have much, and I think that was part of, it wasn't just quilts, they were making clothes for the kids even.
Up until World War II, the Mothers Guild included members nationwide, expanding to states as far as New York. But at that time, Flanagan decided to direct the Guild's efforts towards the war, and the Mothers Guild would never fully revive until around 2005 here in Omaha, Nebraska.
Especially with it being like a Christian-started facility, I think it gives people direction just in general.
Father Flanagan's house is open to the public every single day of the week and features 26 different quilts made by the Mothers Guild. Now mostly local sewers, one of the Guild's main goals is to supply every student at Boys Town with their own personal quilt upon graduating.
And I think it helps make Boys Town a home for the students that are here, and that's crucial difference a lot of times between what goes on here and what goes on in other places.
The Guild has also recently provided Boys Town staff members with quilts and actively contributes other handmade items to fundraising auctions.
Coming up, we head to Omaha Sports to tell us how a sports team is helping lead the fight against cancer.
And next, we take a look at how women's basketball and Maverick hockey is doing.
All this and more on the Omaha News.
I never thought I'd be standing in the clouds looking down on the ancient ruins of the Incan Empire. I never thought I'd live among the street artists in Valparaiso. I never thought I'd make friends that would last a lifetime.
Adventure's out there, and as Mavericks, it's up to us to find it.
Stop thinking, start doing. Visit educationabroad.unomaha.edu.
Alex is your average UNO student. She goes to class, does her homework, and studies hard. She does everything to make sure she excels, except
a flu shot. I don't need a flu shot. I never get sick.
Be smarter than Alex. Call the UNO Health Center at 402-554-2374 to set up an appointment whenever you are sick or injured. Students can receive free primary care so you can quickly return to being 100%.
So I have a test on Tuesday and a 10-page essay due Wednesday. I have to help set up my sorority's bake
Research paper due
essay tomorrow. I'll do by tomorrow.
Wednesday.
Research for 7 points.
Don't let fear and worry build up inside you. Visit the Counseling and Psychological Services office here on the UNO campus. Students can receive 8 to 10 confidential counseling sessions free of charge. Sign up for your first appointment today.
As a student, it's good to know you have support wherever you go. To have a simple and direct way of seeing that next assignment. to have an easy way of knowing where you're headed to next, or just how quickly you're going to get there. The UN Omaha app is everything a student needs, just a tap away. Download it today on the App Store or Google Play.
Welcome back to your very own coverage of Maverick Sports. I'm your host, Ellie Brecht. This past weekend was filled with lots of action on the sports front as the Omaha baseball team faced Savannah State down in Georgia, finishing the weekend with 1 win, 1 loss, and a tie. Friday afternoon, the Mavs came up with a 2-0 victory, followed by a 4-5 loss on Saturday and a 3-3 tie to wrap up the weekend on Sunday morning. The game set for last night at in-Stateville, Nebraska has been postponed due to weather. The baseball team will head out west to California this weekend to face Santa Clara for a 3-game series. The Maverick softball team suffered 4 losses this weekend in Arkansas, but dominated the Diamond on Saturday morning when they faced Northwestern University. The 4-1 win was led by freshman Jamie White, who went 4 for 4 from the plate with a home run and 2 RBIs. Omaha looks to improve its 2-13 record as they head to Riverside, California this upcoming weekend. After a tough preseason and regular season record, the Omaha women's basketball team had 2 nail-biting games last weekend that were important to get into the 2019 Summit League tournament. The Omaha women's basketball team traveled to Tulsa, Oklahoma and Denver, Colorado over the weekend to complete their last 2 games of regular season play. The team took a heartbreaking loss to the ORU Golden Eagles last Thursday night, 64-65. In just the last few seconds of the game, the Golden Eagles scored a buzzer-beating layup to put them up by 1 point. On Saturday night, the Mavericks hoped to avenge the Denver Pioneers on their home court. After 3 quarters of lead changes and intense battling, the Pioneers pulled away in the 4th quarter, ending the Mavericks season 76-82. Elena Pilakuta led the Mavericks with 21 points and Claire Killian added 17. With these 2 losses, the women's basketball team fell short of qualifying for the 2019 Summit League tournament. Brittany Lang and the Omaha Mavericks ended their season with an overall record of 8-21 and a conference record of 2-14. In a more positive fashion, the Omaha men's basketball team sealed their spot as the number 2 seed in the conference tournament. After an unexpected loss at Oral Roberts, the Mavs bounced back with a win at Denver off of 22 points and 8 of 15 shooting from redshirt junior JT Gibson. With an impressive 19-10 overall record as well as a 13-3 conference record, the Mavericks also set the record for most wins in Division I program history. They will head to Sioux Falls this weekend for a first-round matchup with 7-seed North Dakota. Tip-off is set for 8:30 this Saturday night. The Omaha hockey team has had a tough season. With only 9 wins, the Mavericks find themselves tied for last in the NCHC with the Miami Redhawks. This past weekend, the team played host to Denver on senior weekend at Baxter Arena. The Pioneers cruised to a 4-1 win on Friday, and the Mavs were hoping that senior night on Saturday would end their 4-game losing streak. The Mavericks honored 9 seniors and were able to secure a 3-3 tie with the Pioneers before Denver scored in overtime to gain an extra point in conference standings. Head coach Mike Gabinet struggled finding the words to describe the heartbreaking ending.
I feel for the players. I thought we played a heck of a hockey game tonight, right from the drop of the puck to, carry most of the play there and got back into the game. And obviously heartbreaking loss there for the extra point.
The Mavericks are now winless against Denver in their last 16 games. The matchup against Denver wasn't the only thing going on at the hockey game on Friday. The proceeds for that game went to an organization helping those fighting against cancer. Reporter George Cruz Alvarez has more on this story.
For the Roberts family, the ultimate and unexpected events happened when daughter and sister Heather Roberts was diagnosed with stage 3 brain cancer in 2008. While Heather was a fighter, she took her last breaths when she passed on November 8, 2016, at the hands of the terrible disease. Now, the Roberts family try to help those suffering from brain cancer through their organization Leap for a Cure, which helps raise brain cancer awareness and education, as well as raising funds for treatment.
It is considered oftentimes a rare cancer, but it isn't quite that rare. We have about 80,000 people that are diagnosed with brain cancer every year.
At the Mavericks game against Denver, not only did the proceeds of the event go towards their cause, but the Mavericks also donated their practice jerseys for a silent auction for Leap for a Cure. Through the funds raised by Leap for a Cure, Methodist Health Systems has been able to create facilities for brain cancer patients. Heather's Healing Pad in Methodist Physicians Clinic Health West provides brain cancer patients with aquatic therapy.
One of Heather's lifelong dreams after being diagnosed with brain cancer was to be able to have aquatic therapy available for Methodist patients. Aquatic therapy was integral for her in her cancer journey and learning to walk again.
She was brave, she was a fighter until the very end, and never once complained about what she was given. She always lived with hope, and she taught a lot of people to live with hope as well.
For the Omaha News, I'm George Cruz Alvarez.
Leap for a Cure has raised $950,000 for brain cancer treatment that has stayed in Omaha. Those interested in volunteering or helping the organization can learn more on their website. That's it for Omaha Sports. Charlotte, Justin, back to you.
Thanks, Ellie. Refugees from all over the world resettle in the United States. We take a look at how people in the community came together to get a unique perspective of the life of a refugee.
And next we see how a program on campus is helping make the transition to the education system in the United States easier for international students.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Your MAV card is your ticket. Don't lose it.
Ticket? Ticket to what?
It's your ticket to tremendous entertainment. Like the UNO Art Gallery. They host amazing art shows, lectures, and the Writers' Workshop reading series. We can go to the Strauss Performing Arts Center, where we can experience live music. Or maybe the theater, where they host 4 productions a year.
Your MAV card is your ticket. Where will it take you?
Coming up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Faded brass to a full.
In a program at UNO called ILUNO, international students come to learn English as a second language to learn to communicate successfully in personal, professional, and academic environments. Reporter Megan Alexander explores the program and how it helps students.
For 40 years, UNO has offered a program called ILUNO. ILUNO Intensive English is designed to teach English as a second language for international students.
The Intensive Learning Office is located inside the Arts and Sciences Hall behind me on the second floor in room 241, where students in this program can meet with their teachers for any extra help that they may need.
ILUNO instructor Jessica Anderson said students are required to be in class for 21 hours per week. Each session lasts 8 weeks and are scheduled 6 times throughout the year.
So that's why it's called intensive language. It's pretty intense every day. It is intense for the students. We get students from all over the world.
Anderson added, meeting students from all over is very moving and incredible for her. She said students tend to be very proud of themselves when they get to the United States to further their education.
A student just this session was able to articulate, they come and they're so excited because they got here, and it's a huge deal in their country to, work up all the hoops they have to jump through to get here.
ILUNO instructor Ann West Seclau has been teaching the program at UNO since 1997. She was inspired to teach by an experience she had earlier in her life.
When I joined the Peace Corps, that really helped me to decide, wow, I love everything international. I want to work at a university in the States that provides international services to international students.
For the Omaha News, I'm Megan Alexander.
The students for this year's session have graduated from the course to move on to bigger and better things.
The United Nations Refugee Agency says that Nebraska resettled more refugees than any other state in the 2016 fiscal year. Lutheran Family Services of Nebraska has teamed up with Omaha Public Schools and the UNO Department of Religious Studies to bring awareness to local refugee resettlement. Omaha residents were invited to the Community Engagement Center to view the documentary This Is Home, a Refugee Story. The film follows 4 Syrian refugee families during the first 8 months after their resettlement. After the film, there was a panel discussion with Jennifer Gentle of Lutheran Family Services and 2 Central High School students whose families were resettled in Omaha as refugees from Syria. Gentle says that the resettling process is often worrying for refugees.
Worry about whether they'll be accepted, worried about whether they'll be able to survive here, will they get a good job, will they be able to learn English.
Gentle says it's an honor to help refugees around the metro adjust to their new lives and to see the positive changes they experience.
American news studio New Line Cinema has announced that it is teaming up with Sanrio and Flynn Picture Company for an English language film based on The Lovable Cat. This is the first time that Sanrio has ever granted the rights to its characters to a film studio outside Japan. There is no word yet on a budget or a cast list yet. That's all we have for today. Be sure to come back next time for more exciting stories on the Omaha News.
And follow us on Facebook and Twitter at UNO the Omaha News, or find our website for even more news and stories at unomahanews.com.
From all of us here at UNO Television, thanks for watching.
We will see you next time.
Maverick Sports News has grown up. Mav Radio's First Warning is streaming live to show you the best and worst of the sports world. With analyst DK Kellogg, host Ray Cook, and the whole First Warning crew. Where will you be when the warning sounds?
Social media can be fun, but it can also be a powerful tool. At the UNO Social Media Lab, we work together to advance our understanding of social media and technology on the UNO campus and beyond with research application services such as real-time social media tracking, social media listening, and assistance on how to work with first-party social media tools such as Twitter and Instagram analytics. We have also consulted and collaborated with communities in Nebraska to help them leverage social media to work for their communities.
The University of Nebraska at Omaha is a place for tomorrow's leaders. A place where individuals converge on a path to success, getting the attention and direction they need as they begin their career. It's where students take pride in serving Omaha, a city we've invested in for more than 100 years. UNO is a place where greatness begins. The University of Nebraska at Omaha.